Hey there, it's Elizabeth and welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. Today I'm going to do sort of a process video, and it is in response to how I turn this tag into this tag. Okay. I don't really do too much mixed media. I've said it before, but as most of you know, if you've been on my channel at all, I've been trying to come up with ways to make simple handmade items to send out in Happy Mail. So this is what I've been working on the last few days, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So because I don't do mixed media very often and I find it challenging, I like to break down things into steps, okay? So the first step in this, you know what, maybe I should show you just the different materials that I use, okay? So obviously I use a tag. Then I have painted papers that I use. I also have some tissue paper. I don't know where I got it, but I have tissue paper that I use. I glue everything down with Liquitex matte medium. I use this very sparingly because it is quite the expense. But you could also use just a plain glue stick, I would assume. You could use white school glue mixed with a little bit of water. You could also use matte Mod Podge. So I use that as an adhesive. What else do I use? I use my archival ink, okay, black archival ink, and I use that to edge the corners and do my stamping. And then I just use a simple little butterfly stamp that I have. What else do I use? Oh, I also use some embroidery floss, okay, to do the blanket stitching on the one side. What else? Oh, I have used, I've been using my Posca markers as well to just do these little decorative, dots on the side. Okay, so that you can really use anything. I mean, you don't have to use all the materials that I'm using. Okay, and then I have my big ball of fibers that I'm trying to use up. So, okay, oh, and you'll need an awl, and you'll need a cutting mat, okay? So I hope I've covered everything from the materials list, okay? Oh, for my sentiments, I use my Dymo label maker. Okay, so let's see here. So the first thing that I do is take my tag and I use Liquitex, the matte medium gel, to glue it onto the paper, okay? Or to glue it onto the tag. Then I simply take my scissors, and my hands aren't working all that great today, sorry, so... but we'll get through it. We always do. Okay, so then I just take it and I cut around the tag. Hope you can see me cutting, because I know it's so exciting for you. I don't know how long this video is going to be, so I'm sorry if it seems like it's forever long. Again, I don't edit, so this is just in real time. Okay, so... then we have this now, okay, with something stuck to it that I don't want there, but that's okay. Okay, then I take my trusty, whatever this is called, a hole punch, and I punch the hole, okay? So there we have a painted paper tag now. Then what I do is I take my tissue paper, okay, and I just tear a random piece off. Okay, just like that. Now let's get these, whoops, there was a needle on there. Okay, so let's get these finished ones out of the way. Okay, I'll get a piece of deli paper, and I have this. Okay, let me get my brush and dry it off because it is currently sitting in water. You really want to, just a little tip, whenever you're gluing stuff or using, matte medium or Mod Podge or anything like that, you want to have a separate water container for it. And I have this little bit of washi on here along with a piece of dried glue on my finger. I put a little piece of washi tape because I only use this brush for gluing. I don't use it for painting or anything else. And I put it in water when I'm done using it. And then when I go to clean it off, I just use, you know, some soapy water. If you don't do that, you will ruin your brush very quickly. Okay, it'll turn hard as a rock and it's very hard to get everything all washed out. Okay, enough about that. Okay, so again, I use this sparingly, so I put a few drops on. Whoops. Okay, and then I spread my glue onto my tag, and then I just take my tissue paper, stick it on there, and with the rest of the glue that's on my paintbrush, I don't care if wrinkles get into it or anything like that. That just gives it more texture. So I go ahead and put a thin layer right over top of the tissue paper, and then I set that aside to dry. Okay. I love this tissue paper. I don't know where I got it from, but I do love it because when you put glue on it, it becomes, you know, a bit translucent, so you can still see the painted papers coming through from the other side. So I like that effect. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. Okay, and I'm going to put my brush back in my water so it doesn't turn to stone. Okay, so let's see. So we glued the painted paper on, then we glued the tissue paper on, and then you edge it with black ink. Okay, now I'm not going to really show you that step, but here I've edged it, okay, with the archival ink. And all I do with that is I open it up and I just scrape it along the sides, okay? Then I set that one aside to dry, okay? Now, when I'm done with that, let's see, edge in black ink, okay. When I'm done with that, it really doesn't matter what the next step is, but I take my Posca markers and I just do these little decorative dots. It's just a simple way to add a little bit more color and a little bit more design. Okay, then what I do, let's see. Oh, I guess this is the only one that I have. Okay, then what I do, if you'll notice, I hope you can see that. I have, with my awl, I have poked holes in the side, okay? Now, how I do that is, let me move these a little bit forward, out of the way. Okay. What I do is I line the edges up, okay, along my cutting mat. I really hope you can see that. Then I take my see-through ruler, okay, and I line that up with this line right here, okay? And I don't even know, whoops, I don't know how far away it is. It's like, I guess it's 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the tag. Then I take my awl and I line up these lines here too so that my first hole starts 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, or about 1/4 of an inch. And then I take my awl and I poke every 1/4 of an inch all the way up till I get to this part right here, because that's where I'm going to end my blanket stitching. So I do that for all of them. And again, as you can see, hopefully there is my row of holes, okay? Now I'm going to hopefully show you, I have a bunch set up, okay? So the first thing I do when doing my blanket stitch is, I get a piece of embroidery floss. I'm guessing that's what this is called. I don't know because I don't embroider. I just had this in my stash. I just learned how to do the blanket stitch the other day from a YouTube video. And so, yeah, then I thought, well, that's a great way to, you know, put a little bit of added embellishment onto your tag. So let's see if I'm on my my list of steps here. So poke holes for the stitch and then do the blanket stitch. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do the blanket stitch. Okay, there's the hole there. I hope you can see that. Right there, okay? I go in through the back and pull it through, okay? Pull it all the way through until there is a little bit of a tail hanging off. This piece of string is, probably like 2.5 feet long, I guess. Okay. Then we take it and we put it back through the hole. Okay. Hold on to this little tail here if you can. All right. So we pull it back through. Okay. Now, there's our little tail. Here's my string with the needle on it. Okay. I take the other string and I wrap it around the needle twice. Okay. Holding on to the little tail. I then just pull it. Okay. And it forms a tiny little knot at the bottom. It's not a secure knot. It just holds the thread in place. Okay. Or the floss or whatever it's called. Okay. There's my little tail. Okay. I hang on to that. I really hope you can see this. Okay. Then I go back to the back again and go and poke my needle through. You always go up through the back, okay? So I'm pulling my floss through. See this loop here, okay? I stick my needle through the loop and then I gently pull. Whoops, see? I pulled too hard. Okay, my hands are just shaking like a leaf this morning. I don't know what the problem is. Okay, so hold on to, this right here, this first one, and you're gonna pull. My hands ever so slightly, okay? All right, like that, okay? Then you're gonna hold on to this stitch and you're gonna do the same thing again. Hopefully without shaky hands, because this is just horrible. Okay, so we pull this through again going through the back, hoping you can see it. Here's my little loop, okay? Pull your thread a little bit so that, there's your loop, okay? You stick your needle through your loop and then you gently pull, okay? And you continue all the way down. I'm not going to go through, you guys suffering through watching me do this. Okay, you go through the rest of the rows. Okay, the rest of the holes, I should say. Okay, you pull it ever so gently. Okay, so then you're going to have something that looks like this. Okay, along the edge. Here's your blanket stitch. You pull ever so gently. You don't want to pull it too tight because, of course, it'll rip your paper. So, again, we go through. I have to be careful with this needle because this is pointy and I've already stuck my finger once. Okay, so there's my little loop. I pull it through, pull it ever so gently, hold on to it, go back to the back side. Careful not to poke your finger. Okay, go through the loop and gently pull, okay? And then you continue all the way to the end. Now, here's my next one. When you get to the very end, okay, here's my last hole. So, I'm going to flip oh no, I have 2 more holes to go. Darn. I hope I have enough thread. That's all I can say, because I'm running low. Okay, so we're going to, boy, this is hard. Okay. We're going to pull it through. I don't know if I'm going to have enough thread. I'm probably not. Okay, let's go back to, sorry about that. Let's go back to this one because I know I'll have enough with this one. And we'll just quickly finish this one out because it doesn't take very long. Well, and it would take a shorter amount of time if I didn't have such bloody shaky hands, I'll tell you that. Anyway, oh well. Okay, and it's like a really gloomy day today, so sorry for the shadowing and all of that. I need to change my light bulbs, my overhead light bulbs in my room because I hope I'm in frame. Gosh. Okay. Yeah. So the gloomy day is not helping matters at all. Okay, let's get this done. Let's get this done. Let's get her done. Okay. Again, I apologize. I don't know how long this video is going to take, but Okay, go through 2 more holes. Okay. Ouch. We go through the loop. Okay. Now, here's my last hole. Okay, so this is how I tie off the end. So you go ahead and you do the same thing, right? You poke it through the back, you bring it up, you put your needle through the loop, you pull it, slightly tight, okay? Now, what I do is I take my needle, I hope you can see this, okay? I take my needle and I go through the whole thing, okay? Now, I pull it through and then there's a little loop. Sorry for the shaky hands. That's just my life. Okay. And then we make a little knot, okay? Right there. We pull it, okay? And then we take our fabric scissors, there they are, and we just simply snip it off, okay? Now, I will go back and I will do the same thing to this. I will rethread this little tag, or this little, like, whatever this is called, hanging thing. I don't know. I can't even think straight. I will rethread this, and then I will do the same thing with this knot here. I will loop it through and tie a knot, and then in the end, you have something that looks like this, okay? So here's the knot at that side, here's the knot on this side, and then you have this really cute embellished side, and it's super easy to do, okay? So now that we've done that, my next step, let me see. Okay, we'll just use this tag. No, we can use this one since this one's done. I just have to tie this. Okay, so I have my dots on here. I have this on here. Okay, then I take, sorry for my reach. Then I take my archival ink and my little butterfly and, oh, I don't want to stamp on that. As you can see, I've done that before. Okay. So take the butterfly and stamp it. I like to hold it down for a moment. I'm not the best stamper in the world, but that's okay. Okay. Again with the shaky hands. Oh, okay. Then I do another offset stamp. Okay, I usually just, as you can tell with all the butterflies, that's how I clean off my stamps. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, so what do we need next? We need our fibers, right? Okay, so let me see, where did these end? Okay, so here are my fibers, right? I take, I don't know, like however long that is. 6 inches, maybe 7 inches, I don't know. So I take that and I cut that, and then I fold it in half, okay? My ink is still drying, so I need to be careful not to smudge anything. Hope I'm in frame. And then of course you just, feed these through. Okay. So we feed those through like that, and then there, so far, so you got your fibers on, and then you take your little labels. Now you could easily, if you don't have a Dymo label maker, you can easily just do a whole sheet on your computer on like cardstock or something, on white cardstock, and then just simply cut out the words and then paste them down if you want. You could use magazine clippings, however you want to do your sentiment, okay? I think I do a bunch of these at one time, right? So this one says hello, this one says lovely, and I think I'm going to use the one that says blessed, okay? So I'm going to cut these as close as I can to the edges of the letters. Okay, I need to get my Aleene's tacky glue. Okay, so hopefully I can get this off of here. There we go. Okay, so I just peel that off. I do take my tacky glue, because even though this is sticky on the back, it's not sticky enough to adhere permanently. So without getting this all over myself. Okay, so I just glue that a little bit and I just stick it on there. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, yeah, it's gonna pop out a little bit, no big deal. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and so there you have it. Okay, all done. Sweet little tag made, very simple to do, and fun to do. And then of course, you can either keep it to use in your journal or stick in your diary or whatever the case is. You can use it in an art journal, you know, on an art journal page. You can do whatever you want with it. In my case, I'm going to send it out in Happy Mail and hopefully bless and brighten somebody else's day. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you were inspired to make your own tags. And you know, I hope you try to learn to do the blanket stitch. I know it's super simple, but I just learned it and I think it's fun as ever to do. So best of luck to you in making your own tags. And I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week and looking forward to a great weekend. So thanks again for joining me. Talk to you soon.